Hey guys, welcome into Bleacher Talk presented by Via Luna. I'm Claudia Faust with Jordan Spurgeon right by my side. We're super excited for another week of high school football here in the Valley. Things are cooling down. It's crispy outside this morning. And yeah, we're just looking forward to another week. But it's kind of a rough day for me, not gonna lie. We just tallied up our scores right now for Bleacher Talk. Let's bring in Bruce Cooper because it is time to finally share that my reign is officially over. Officially over. You guys are tied at 15-3, and I am 14-4. So I am officially in last place. After weeks of holding first place by myself.
The queen has fallen? I don't believe it.
No way.
Kind of a bummer. Super excited for you guys though. And I will be out the next 2 weeks. I've made my picks ahead of time. So you guys might have even more of an advantage because I've just picked for the next 3 weeks all at once. But
we'll
you
see.
know, I like you guys. I'm so good for you.
Well, Claudia, I have to interrupt you. Tell us, why are we not going to see you the next few weeks? What's going on?
I will be getting married this weekend, so I'll be a little bit busy.
Yes.
Well, congratulations to you. And I will say this, that Jordan and I, we need every advantage we can get. So, we'll take it.
I'm hoping you congratulate me when I come back because I've retaken the lead. That's what I'm hoping for. Well, let's head into the first matchup. Let's just get right into it. Williamsfield versus Castile. Bruce, I'd like you to go first.
Wow. Two teams that are 3-2. I mean, Steve Campbell doing a great job over at Williamsfield. Bobby Newcomb likewise at Castile. Wow. I think the only thing that's going to decide this for me is the one team that they have in common, and that's Queen Creek. Queen Creek beat both Williamsfield and Castile. They shut out Queen Creek. The Bulldogs did last week, 21-0, but they barely squeaked by Williamsfield 21-20. So I know it sounds corny. I know it's stupid. It's not really a thing to gauge by, but it's the only thing that I can really go by because I respect both programs. I think they're both very, very good teams. I'm going to take Williamsfield in a squeaker, 21-20. How about that?
Wow, real close. Well, I'm gonna give my take right now because I was at that Williamsfield Queen Creek game, and I'm also kind of basing it off of that. Williamsfield looked like the better team in the first half of that game, but it was a slow moving game. Let me tell you, I was barely moving up the sidelines, and usually I'm like trucking from one end to the other, like being like, okay, I'm not in shape to do this apparently, but that was not the case there. I think Castile has played a more competitive schedule up to this point. So based on that alone, just kind of what I saw out of Williamsfield, they played a good first half. But I just think Castile has the advantage of having played a more competitive schedule. So I'm going to say Castile also close. I'll do 25-21. What about you, Spurge?
I think it's been a few weeks since I've had to disagree with you, Coop, but I think Castile's got the right recipe to take down Williamsfield. I mean, I hear what you're both saying and mentioning. I just think with Castile on offense, especially, Landon Jury's coming into his own. He's growing some confidence. He's a bit of a quiet kid, but I've seen some videos the last few weeks. He's starting to really come out of his shell a little bit, and he's slinging the ball back there. In the backfield, you've got AJ Murphy, who's turned into one of the best backs in the state this year. And then JJ Newcomb, who's Bobby Newcomb's son. He's only a sophomore. He's playing great, not only on defense, but even as almost a go-to wide receiver for Jury at times as well. So I think they just have a little bit more firepower than Williamsfield. And so I think I'm going to pick them opposite of you, Coop. I think it's going to be 21-20 Castile over Williamsfield.
That's like a real, stab in the heart. I feel like same score and everything, just flip it. All right, next matchup is Queen Creek versus Liberty. Spurge, you're on a roll right now, so you take your take first.
Yeah, you guys talked about Queen Creek last week, and they were able to play really, really well. And, I think right now they are just the better program than Liberty. Liberty's, they've got a tough loss. It wasn't anything crazy. It was against Chandler, so it was a really tough loss for them. That's to be expected at times. But I just think Queen Creek has more going for them. than Liberty. And I also think Queen Creek is really vying for an open division spot. I think Liberty's at a point where they're probably going to be in the 6A playoffs, but I think Queen Creek has a chance to still make the open division. So I think what Coach Sherman's doing over there, he's replacing Joe Germain. He loses his quarterback, Devin Brown, and moves to Utah last year. And all he's done is go 5-0 since then. So I think Queen Creek's going to win this one, probably 28-24.
All right, Bruce, what's your take?
Well, I agree with Jordan on so many aspects there. Look, I will say this. I do believe that both Liberty and Queen Creek are open division contenders right now. I mean, I really do. At the end of the day, this game could very well determine which of the two actually makes it into the open division finals there, or the open division race, I should say. I'm going to go ditto. I think the Bulldogs on the east side have just a little bit more than Coach Thomas and his Lions on the west side. So give me the Queen Creek Bulldogs 31, Liberty 27.
I'm so disappointed right now. I 100% thought you were about to say Liberty, and I was going to get to say I agree, because you were saying everything that I wanted to say, that, hey, I think both of these teams have a shot at the open. Liberty's only loss being to Chandler, I think that is their advantage. Like 100%. They've played Chandler, and if that's your only loss, like they're on how long is their win streak now? 40, 45 games? I don't know. Is anyone keeping track anymore? Or we just waiting until they lose?
It's a lot.
I lost track after 40, so you might be right.
Last I heard was 43, and I can't tell you when that was. But I go back to that Williamsfield Queen Creek game, and I just wasn't super impressed by either team. I just don't know if it was a weird day, but something about that game just makes me think I have to go with Liberty in this case. So I'm going to go Liberty. I'm going to go kind of high scoring. 39-34.
Okay.
All right. Last one. Arizona College Prep versus Valley Christian. Bruce, you go first this time.
Well, if you just go by the records, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Valley Christian 7-0, AZ College Prep 4-3. I know College Prep had won 4 games in a row after they lost their first 2, so you thought maybe they were on a roll. They got spanked pretty good by ALA Gilbert North last weekend, so I think that's pretty much who they are when they run up against a program or a team like the Trojans at Valley Christian. So give me Valley Christian in this one, and I'm going to go Valley Christian 40-24 over AZ College Prep.
Totally agree with you, Bruce. Glad that we're on the same page this time around. Record alone, 7-0. Just feel I honestly think they might go undefeated. Just kind of that's the way things are rolling. And when you look at the rest of their schedule, it feels totally possible. And they're the team to beat in that division. And ACP, I don't think would be the school to break their winning streak. So I'm also going to go by a big margin. I'll go 49-24. Spurge.
Yeah, I wrote about this in a column on Friday night. The 3A is just wide open this year. There's probably 6-7 teams that could win it, and Valley Christian has to be right up there in those top 3 or 4 teams. I mean, they're outscoring opponents 312-114 or 119 this year. Just remarkable. They won 70-0 last week. They're just playing at a really high level. And I think we've talked about ACP a couple of times on this show, and I still like the direction they're heading in with the new field and the way the program is, and they're building a lot of energy and hype. The talent's just not there yet. I think Valley Christian wins this one pretty easily, somewhere in the ballpark of 42-24.
So we're either all getting that one, or we're all going to come back and be like, well, we were all absolutely wrong. I'm looking forward to seeing what the result is there.
So it seems like we differ on Williamsfield, Castile, and Queen Creek and Liberty, huh?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay.
We will have some different standings coming up next week then, for sure. It's going to be a good time. We mentioned ALA Gilbert North as one of the teams in this segment. We're actually going to talk to the band director over at ALA Gilbert North coming up next with me and Claudia Faust right here on Bleacher Talk.
Hey everyone, welcome back into Bleacher Talk. I'm Claudia Faust with Jordan Spurgeon, and we have another guest with us today. So excited to have Tucker Rother with us. He is the band director at ALA Gilbert North, and you are just so experienced in this band world. I feel like a creeper a little bit, but I was looking at your LinkedIn and it's like endless pages of like what you've done, which is super impressive. But let's start from the beginning. How did you get involved in band?
Oh, wow. All right. So it goes back, I think I started band in 2008. And it was just something that I gravitated to very quickly. I grew up in a really big household. So I have there were 6 of us growing up in the house. So I definitely needed a little bit of an escape. And music was that escape for me really early. I had a super awesome band director going through high school, and then it just kind of like snowballed. And then I like woke up one day and I was here.
So do you play multiple instruments? How do you get from, starting in band at a young age to actually being able to direct an entire high school?
Yeah. So, well, in college, you have to learn to play, every instrument, and you have to pass competencies and stuff like that. But I specialize in more of the brass instruments, more of the French horn, trombone, baritone, trumpet. That's kind of my specific wheelhouse as far as what I play, but I had to learn to teach everything. And I think the best way to learn how to teach everything is to be able to have some sort of competency in it.
Which one was your first instrument that you learned how to play?
I started on trombone, and I was probably 4'9" until like my junior year of high school. So like going all the way down was a little bit of a struggle. So I switched to baritone, and then I have a small high school, so they needed a French horn player, and then I switched to that, and I really, really liked it. So I kind of stuck with French horn and baritone as we got closer to college and stuff like that. But I started on the giant slide.
It's hard when you're really small to get there. From all the instruments you learned
it was
since
a
then.
struggle. I tried playing the tuba in 7th grade, and I had to sit on 2 phone books and a saxophone case, and it still struggled. So
Yeah, I've always been short. I'm 5 feet tall. So like I tried the flute. I'm atrocious at it. Like you would like not want to hang out with me if I had a flute with me. But I was like, I'm small. I'm going to stick with the smaller instrument. That felt like the logical thing to do.
Yeah, good choice. Good choice. I didn't choose that wisely.
So what does prepping for game day at ALA Gilbert North look like? I mean, you present an entire halftime show. How long does it take to actually prep for just one game?
Well, first of all, there's a lot of coffee and a lot of Red Bull involved in making a football game happen. So ALA, the one thing that I really like about ALA is that every performance or every football game, it's a spectacle. Like they are there to entertain their audience, and I have not seen them disappoint so far. So usually we have band camp in July, and that runs about 2 weeks usually. And then we get into regular rehearsals, and then we rehearse after school 4 days a week. And then football games, we show up a couple hours before the game starts, warm up, get in the zone and put on an entertaining show for our crowd.
What's sort of the favorite song that your band plays this year? Like for me, when I'm out at schools and they start playing Star Wars stuff, I go crazy. But what's the favorite song they're playing so far this year?
Well, I think the kids will all tell you something differently, but my favorite thing that we do is we play Welcome to My House, and the band actually turns around and faces the visiting crowd and like blasts the chorus to them and dances and kind of rubs it in their face how good we are. And it's pretty cool. That's my favorite part anyway.
I saw that, and I love the way that you choose to have the band really like approach the crowd. I have never seen that before. Was that a choice because of something that you did growing up, or you were just like, I'm going to get creative and we are going to just be a part of this crowd?
Yeah. So I grew up with band being kind of the center focus of a football game. We had a really, really good football team, but our band was awesome. And one of the things that my mentor taught me was that it is all about entertainment, and you are there to leave that crowd with something that they will remember. So I like to engage the crowd. They start off with clapping along with us, and then they dance and they have a good time. And I think that's part of the kind of Ohio aspect of my background, is that Ohio is all about, entertainment and excitement. And, you've seen Ohio State. So when I got here, I just felt like all of the potential that these kids had was just bottled up into this little tiny thing, just waiting to explode. So when I finally was like, all right, we're going to dance, we're going to have fun, they really just ran with it and made it their own. And they took the music and they took the excitement level to places that I didn't even see possible. So that's kind of one of the cool things about my job is that I give them all the tools. But once, with a minute left before halftime, I've done everything that I can do for them. It is all them once they take the field.
Do you feel like you're in your element these days with this weather? Like it's feeling like Ohio outside right now.
It's amazing. When I moved in July. So when I got here in July, every time I walked outside, I'm like, did I leave the blow dryer on? Like, why is it just like this giant blow dryer just like hitting your face all the time? So yeah, now that it's cooled off a little bit, I definitely find myself a lot less sweaty and a lot less stressed going outside. And like, I don't walk outside, I'm like, oh, not another one.
So I have one last question, Jordan, you can follow up if you want, but what do you see as like the future for ALA Gilbert North? Or is there a competition or anything like that coming up that you're just really amped about?
Yeah, so we do compete, and they actually at their first competition, they did take first place with best music, best visuals, and best drill. But my focus is not at all competitive. I think a lot of, and one of the biggest things with one of my biggest issues with kind of how Arizona does things in the band world is that a lot of bands determine the success of their season based off of 4 judges' critiques. And if one judge, wasn't having a good day or didn't like what they saw, kids will really beat themselves up over it. So my goal for this year and for the future is just to make sure that they're proud of the product that they put on the field. And obviously, I would love to grow, and the school's only 5 years old. So, the sky is the limit of possibilities. But definitely just making sure that we maintain a consistent level of high energy performances is obviously always a good band director's goal.
So I've got one thing. So we love the marching bands here on Bleacher Talk, probably because I was a band kid growing up as well. I played the trumpet all the way through high school. So if I go home and I find it in the attic, what do I got to do to get out there for one game? Is that even a possibility?
Well, did you graduate from ALA? Where did you graduate?
I did not. I grew up in California.
Oh, okay. Well, we do have we do a middle school band night, and eventually, as we get more alumni, we'll do an alumni night. So maybe we can just have you throw on an ALA t-shirt. Here's the music. Here you go.
Take it till you make it.
That is better practice then. It's been a while. We'll see about that.
Tucker, it has been so much fun talking to you. Best of luck, the rest of the band season. We really appreciate it. Have a good one.
Take care, guys.
Stick with us. When we come back, we'll have more Bleacher Talk, and we'll have our social spotlight segment. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Bleacher Talk with Claudia Faust and Jordan Spurgeon. Guess who's who? Should be pretty easy. Hopefully y'all know by now. Hopefully. Hey, well, we've got a super fun, as usual, segment right now. It's our social spotlight segment where we shout out some of the things that we see happening on Friday night or anything football game day related. And the first one, Jordan, you take it away. What do we have as our first social spotlight this week?
Yeah, we're going all the way to Florida. Look at the college scene. Mikey Keene, former Chandler quarterback, never lost a game at Chandler, and he won his first start at UCF this weekend. Congrats to Mikey Keene. The story this year, we've seen Trevor Lawrence, never lost a high school game, never lost a college game, didn't lose till he got to the NFL. Not saying that's going to happen to Mikey Keene, but UCF's got a good program. He's a really good quarterback. Could be a possibility. We'll wait and see.
So I'll totally root for Mikey Keene. I'm all about it. But I went to FAU. I'm an owl from just down the block. It's actually like 3 hours away. But UCF is kind of a rival, a little bit, like unspoken. So, I mean, it should be a true honor that I'm kind of supporting the Knights right now. But, for Mikey Keene, I guess I will. Also supporting a fellow Sports 360 AZ team member, Zach Alvira. He's at Zach Alvira on Twitter. And he just won first place for the best team sport or sports beat coverage from the Arizona Newspaper Association for his coverage of Desert Vista athletics, which that's a really fun story, or really fun school to cover in the first place after the season they had last year through this season. And he's so dedicated. We love having Zach as a part of our team, and he just does so much for the football community around here. And he's just so great. We love having you on board, Zach. We love it. We love it.
Yeah, check out Zach. Got to know him a little bit this year. I know he's on Audibles with Claudia, which you guys should check out on Mondays, and on Bally Sports Arizona every week as well. You can see Zach on there dropping all kinds of knowledge. There's a reason why he won that award. So now we're going to go over to a field crew at Queen Creek High School. And last week, first off, the field crews don't ever get enough love because they have to do so much for fields when you want like special games or you want special celebrations at games. And they were able to paint the Bulldog red, white, and blue for their military appreciation night. It's things that you love to see. That's Andy Hebard over there on Twitter. Really good job. Really cool field. We've seen some great fields this year, and I think that's up there somewhere. I don't know if it's the top or not. It might be. You guys can let us know in the comments. I'm sure someone will comment on that now, but it's pretty impressive to see that.
Honestly, it's kind of like embarrassing for me to see, because I'm like, I can even draw like a stick figure on a piece of paper, and they're drawing these beautiful, or not drawing, spray painting these beautiful graphics on football fields and on turf. And I'm like, okay, well, I have zero artistic talent, and my mom's an artist. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, I am now shouting out you, Jordan, kind of. I'm shouting out your shout out, actually. So if we go back to Friday night at Red Mountain, Jacoby Lane showing support for younger kids who love watching him play. We usually don't want to use our own stuff, but Jordan, I had to. This is the cutest thing ever. I love seeing the little kids who just look so happy. It's like they're getting autographs from like a celebrity. It is so cool to see that.
Yeah, Jacoby Lane, a 4-star receiver over there, really good player. But all game long, I kept noticing, especially like at halftime and during breaks, there was this little girl that kept catching deep routes from her dad. And I went up to him. I was like, "Is she gonna play football?" He goes, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Okay, cool. Like I've worked at women's football. That's awesome. It's good to see the sport growing." But they kept saying, "I want to be like Jacoby. I want to be like Jacoby." And both times he caught a touchdown pass, the kids were like, as soon as he was done celebrating on the field and walking back to the sidelines, they were the ones trying to go up and dap him up when he was scoring touchdowns.
I think I want to be like Jacoby now too. Can I grow up to be like him?
I think we all do, especially the height for me.
Yeah, that would help me a lot.
Yeah, it was a really cool moment for sure. Yeah. Well, that's going to do it all for our social spotlight. Not all for Bleacher Talk, Claudia. Congratulations. Big weekend this weekend, right? Got a
Not
wedding.
a lot going on, just getting hitched on Saturday. No big deal. Haven't been waiting like forever for this day or anything. So no, I'm really excited. I appreciate you bringing that up. You caught me off guard there. I was actually questioning for a second. But I appreciate it. And so I won't be around the next 2 weeks, unfortunately, but I trust Spurge to hold down the fort, and you're going to be awesome. Still keep watching Bleacher Talk. I know you're going to want to, because Spurge is a blast. So I appreciate it. I'll miss you the next 2 weeks.
Absolutely, Claudia. We're going to miss you. Congrats to you and Rome, and have fun. Enjoy. We'll man the fort down at Bleacher Talk here. I got Coop with me. It's going to be a good time. That wraps it up for today. Thank you for listening and watching to Bleacher Talk. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Claudia Faust. Enjoy the rest of your week.